My Freddie's flowers are 10 days old. I thought you'd like to see how I'm going to revamp them a little bit so I can get even more enjoyment out of them. My name's Julie from Julie Davies Flower Workshops and Flower Start, the online flower arranging classes. Come and join me. So I've decided that I don't really like the vase that my flowers were in. I chose particularly a narrow necked vase so the flowers would sit really nicely. There's nothing wrong with the flowers at all, but I just don't like the way that they've been displayed. So I need to throw away my water. In fact, my water was running low, and that's the problem of arranging your flowers in an opaque vase, because you can't see how much water you've got in them. But because of that, I know I did put lots of water in to start with. But if you're using a glass vase, you can be keeping an eye on it. So looking through my flowers here, I've got the greenery, the pistache, still looking lovely and healthy. Solidago, which is goldenrod, nice, still got lovely yellow blooms. It's hard to believe these flowers are 10 days old. And then the purple trachelium. Probably, perhaps this piece of pistache is drying out slightly. In fact, as I put it out of the vase, I can see that these stems were wet where they were being in the water, and actually that's dry, so perhaps it's a slightly shorter stem, and imagine it's not being in the water. So this one will have to go through the compost heap, so I'll throw that away. And then we've got the lovely roses. I had 6 roses to start with, and I can see already this rose has died. It's such a shame, but it is 10 days old. What do you expect after 10 days? So again, that'll go straight into my compost heap. But the other roses are looking remarkably good. My 2 red roses, one large, one small. The 2 orange roses that just started to open out. They are looking slightly fragile around the edges, but I'm just enjoying these flowers at home. You know, I will put them back in the vase. And then what was my favourite rose, with its partner who died, the one that looks like raspberry ripple ice cream, so a white rose with a tinge of pink. So just to change things up a bit, I've decided that I'm going to put my flowers into a glass-sided vase. So again, it's got quite a sturdy bottom, and it's got a pinched-in neck, but it's not quite as narrow as that first vase that I had. And what I will do is recut my stems using secateurs for the woody stems, and I'll use my normal flower arranging scissors for the other stems, and I'm taking off bits of greenery that is starting just to look a bit faded. So I'm crossing, oh, I've got a bit of leaf in my water, I want to get that out. I want nothing in the water but the stems, so if anything falls in, if you can, try and rescue it. So I've got a nice green structure there, and I've arranged my flowers through there, and every time I will cut the stems, and by creating that little network of stems in the middle, it just means all your flowers hold up a little bit more. So I'm taking about a couple of centimetres off the end of each stem. I've got 3 solidago, so I can put those in thirds. So if you were looking from above, you'd see a sort of dot to dot of 3 yellow pieces of flower you could make a triangle out of. So wanting the haze there of just sort of green and yellow coming up. And then my roses I'm going to put in 3s as well, so pairing those roses together, all slightly different colours. So my favourite one I'm going to put at the front so I can see it, and I'm going to recut all those stems. Fresh cut so I can be sure they're still taking up water, and feeding those through into the arrangement. Again, making that triangle, sort of dot to dot triangle, so if you look from above you clearly see I've got 3 points, a rose and then a rose and a rose, and then come back to at this point deciding where my front of my vase is so that my other flowers aren't lost. There's no point in putting flowers in the back of your vase if you're going to be arranging it or leaving it against a wall, because you're not going to be able to enjoy the flowers. So I've got my roses in next, and have that red one in the middle, pull off some of the side shoots of the roses there, and the bigger rose nestle down underneath, and then my 2 trachelium. And the only advice here is not to put them into the vase so it makes it look it got 2 little purple eyes or 2 little purple ears. So normally I would just put them down to separate them out a bit. So I could push one down, I might have a tiny bit lower, nestle it down a bit. So don't be afraid to cut your flowers down a bit lower. And perhaps this one a little bit taller, just so they're offset slightly. So I've put one towards the front and one towards the back, and that whole arrangement just looks a tiny bit looser. I'm going to take that petal off there since it's falling a little bit, and I should get, you know, a few more days out of that. It's already 10 days old, so I'm doing really well with that box of flowers. And if you'd like to make your own arrangement, of course, don't forget to use my discount code. So if you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll bring you lots of handy flower arranging hints and tips. I look forward to seeing you another time.